Okay, I'm going to get started. And the good news is that everything we do here is going to be recorded, so you can go back and listen to it or watch it as many times as you want over the next few weeks, I guess, if you'd like. But I want to start by introducing myself. I'm Mr. Woodcock. I'm the principal at Morgan Road Elementary School, and this is obviously a unique way of doing an annual tradition, which is our kindergarten transition program. Usually, obviously, we do this in person. And because of everything that's going on this year, we've had to adapt. But it was important to our team that we had an opportunity to introduce ourselves to all of you. So I've got a whole bunch of people that'll pop up on your screen in the next few minutes. And we'll talk about some things to get that hopefully will help prepare you a little better for kindergarten in the fall. And then we always end, the most valuable part at the end is an opportunity to ask questions that you might have. Anything that you're might be anxious about, just concerns you have, or just how do we do things here at Morgan Road? And I'll give you a chance to ask those questions, and we'll go through and answer them. Just some big stuff, and I know we have some experience on this screen. We've got some people here with it's not their first child going to kindergarten, so you know some of these things. But Morgan Road is one of 9 elementary schools in the Liverpool Central School District. We have 9 K-6 buildings right now, and Morgan Road is the largest of the 9 buildings. We have the most students. Typically, we have between 490 and 500 students in our school. We have 3 sections of kindergarten next year, so we'll have 3 kindergarten teachers. One of our kindergartens is an integrative co-taught class, which Mr. Albacelli will be the special education teacher in that class. And our team will introduce themselves in a second. But I wanted to go through that first. You know, the biggest thing I want you to know is that when your kids come to our school, we treat them as our own. We make decisions here. We often say, what would you do if this was your child? And that helps us get to the right solution many a times. And our core values, something we spent a lot of time on a year ago developing as a team, are safety, achievement, opportunity, and empathy. And you know, those are things we would want our kids to have the experience of learning about in elementary school. And those are the things that we really focus our time and our energy and our money here at Morgan Road on. So I think it's kind of hard to argue these days. Obviously, coming to school in the fall is going to be a different time. We're not sure what that's going to look like. And, you know, probably one of the biggest questions is, you know, with the pandemic and with COVID and everything else, Mr. Woodcock, what's school going to look like in the fall? And I'm going to say right out front, I do not know the answer to that question just yet. But we are all hoping, we have our fingers crossed, that we will be as close to normal as possible by then. Hopefully a lot of good things will happen, and we'll be able to head that direction. So from a safety standpoint, that's obviously at the forefront right now. And then, you know, empathy is a big one too, that's kind of at the forefront of our society. And what I can tell you is that, you know, the world's not perfect, but we try really, really hard to make sure that we build empathy in our kids and talk to them about relationships with other students and really try to build those things so they're more successful in the long term. So that's big for us. And then achievement is obviously focused on the academic piece, and there's great opportunities by being in a district the size of Liverpool. We're able to do a lot of things from an academic standpoint that are really fortunate. We're going to start a brand new reading program in the fall, CKLA. I see some teacher parents on here too that I know we're very excited about, you know, that opportunity for kids and have consistent programming. So that's a big part of our achievement piece. And then opportunities, we're hoping in the next few years that we're able to offer opportunities for your kids that, you know, maybe kids in the past weren't able to experience just by being creative with some things. So I don't want to speak too long because I want to get moving along, and I got a lot of people to share. And remember, if you have questions, what we're going to do is Mr. Burgess is here. If you give him a wave, Mr. Burgess, say hi. Maybe he'll pop on their screen.
Hi, everybody.
So Mr. Burgess is kind of my sidekick. He's our librarian. He's our DJ. One year he was our PTO president. This guy does everything. So today he's kind of like facilitating the meeting. If you have questions that come up while I'm speaking and you don't want to interrupt or raise your hand, you can go into the chat box in the upper corner by the time, and you can write the question in there, and we will come back and answer those questions at the end. If you can keep your mics on mute, it looks like everybody has, then it runs more smoothly as we get through. All right, the first group I want to introduce is our kindergarten team, our teachers. So I'm going to have each of them quickly kind of introduce themselves. Hopefully, if you don't have the grid view on Google Meet, hopefully these people will pop up on your screen. So Ms. Burlingame, would you like to go first?
Sure. I'm Mrs. Burlingame, and I'm teaching kindergarten this year.
All right. Ms. Burlingame, do you want to tell them how many years we've taught kindergarten for?
Well, this is this year, those seniors that came through are the
Yes.
seniors that I missed because I was teaching first grade. Those seniors were in kindergarten. They went to first, I went to kindergarten. So what's that, 12 years?
She's been teaching it for a while, and she has all the stuff in her room to prove it. All right. All right, Ms. Conklin, you're up next.
Hi, everybody. Maureen Conklin, and I've been teaching kindergarten for about 5 years now, 10 years in special ed, and then I switched to kindergarten. So hopefully we'll meet you soon.
All right. And then Ms. Harrington, you're up.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Harrington. I don't know how long I've been teaching kindergarten. I think 4 years. Has it been? Let's say 4 years.
Time flies.
Yeah. And I'm so excited to meet your children. It's so exciting. Every year, this is like one of my favorite things to do. So thanks for being here.
All right. Ms. Harrington, everybody, will be teaching the integrated COTOD, the ICT classroom. You might hear that referred to. She'll have the ICT in kindergarten next year, along with Mr. Albacelli. So, Mr. Albacelli, why don't you go ahead?
Hello, everyone. I'm Mr. Albacelli, and this, out of the last 5 years, this is my 4th year in a KICT class teaching special education.
So, Mr. Albacelli has this stuff down pat. All right, we've seen everything. Okay. All right. Thank you, team. And they'll be here they'll be listening throughout, and then they can help us answer some questions possibly at the end. Next up, I want to introduce, I didn't invite them all here today because I didn't think we'd have enough time, but this is a look at our special area team. This is Coach Felice, all right, Mrs. Corp, Mr. Nedzwicki, and then Mr. Burgess. Coach Felice is our phys ed teacher. Mrs. Corp is our music teacher. Mr. Neds is our art teacher, and then Mr. Burgess is our librarian / DJ / PTO president when needed. All right. All right, Mrs. Young, you're here. So she's going to kill me for putting this picture on. So I'm going to kind of skim back through here. Let's see if I can go back. I don't know what's next. All right, Miss Young, want to introduce yourself to everybody?
Hi, everybody. I'm Mrs. Young. I am in the office, and I am excited for everybody to come and start the school year.
So when you call the office parents, odds are you're going to have Mrs. Young on the other end, or Mrs. Prietti, or Miss Hamilton, or Miss. There's a lot of people that support Mr. Woodcock. You know, he needs all the support he can get. But Mrs. Young is the one that's here like all day, every day. So if you have any specific questions about things, she's a great person to ask. She's easier to get a hold of oftentimes than I am. Okay, next up is our reading team. All right. Well, nope. I jumped the gun. I skipped the agenda because of Mrs. Young's photo. Let's go back to the beginning here. Sorry. Next up is our nurse's office. So I know we have Miss Chacall and we have Miss Laval. Miss Laval is on here as well, and they've got some information. They're going to introduce themselves and share some information about what do you need to paperwork-wise to start kindergarten.
I think Dina's I'm Kristen. I'm one of the nurses that's there, and then Dina's gonna give you guys some information.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for attending this, and a very happy welcome to our kindergarten transition for 2020. Again, my name's Dina Lavelle. I'm one of 2 nurses at Morgan Road. Kristen is there full-time the entire day, and I'm there for half a day and then go to Sewell Road. Our office covers Morgan Road Elementary, and it also covers the annex. So we have a very large building, a lot of students. But we want to make sure that you communicate with us, ask any questions anytime. You can email us. You can call us. Whatever you need, we want to make this transition into kindergarten very comfortable, very easy for you and your child. These are big changes for your child and for parents. We also have a health office aide, Kelly Slowick, who is wonderful. She usually answers the phone. She will attempt to answer any questions if she can, or refer it to Kristen and I. So we're really, really here to help you. We want to make your child comfortable. And the way we can do that is have open communication. We have a few nuts and bolts things that we need to take care of before your child enters school in September. To begin school, your child will need complete school entrance immunizations, and these are set forth by New York State Ed, so these are mandated. Most of you have already gotten a letter that says your child needs their second measles or their second chicken pox. That's what it is. If you have any questions on those, Kristen does have a list of students who are needing things. And a lot of times, just to ease your fear, those last immunizations are done over the summer, right before kindergarten entrance. Secondly, we would like a current physical. We would take a physical if you registered in February 2020. We'll take it all the way back for a year to 2019. So if you have one, just send it in to us. Thirdly, very, very important, if your child needs medication in school, we need a doctor's order for that. They can fax it into our office. You can bring it in. But that's even for over-the-counters. They can't carry cough drops or Tums. Your child should have no medication on them. And a lot of times kids come in and say, I have a bag of cough drops. So, and then we'll usually call you and say they can't carry that. But just to give you a heads up for that. All medications also have to be delivered by a parent. Your child can't carry them back and forth. But please, please contact us with any health concerns, especially food allergies, insect allergies. Those are very, very important for us to know for the year. So we want to make sure that they're safe during the day. So just call us with any questions you have. Lastly, you know, families wonder about the medical part of it and academic readiness, but there are some important social skills that you can work on over the summer that would help us and also build your child's self-esteem. In your child, this helps them get them ready for kindergarten. Independent hand washing, they can go to the sink, wash their hands. Basic dressing skills, putting on their coat, maybe putting on their sneakers. They don't have to tie or snap or anything like that, but that'll help them. And knowing that they can always ask for help. Again, please let us know whatever you need. We want you to feel comfortable. Call our office. We're looking forward to a very fun, healthy, happy kindergarten year. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Lavelle, Mr. Chikala. I just want to add that, you know, if you have specific medical needs for your child that you're concerned about, it's not uncommon for us to have a meeting before the year starts. So just email us and let us know. And we usually touch base with you about mid-August. Make sure we got everything figured out. Allergies obviously are something we definitely wanted to know about and make sure we're accommodating appropriately in school. Before we move on to our reading team, this is usually a good time to stop and say, are there any questions for our medical team? If you guys have any questions specifically for our nurses team. If you do, you can either raise your hand on the screen, I can see most of you, or just put it in the chat box. All right, we need somebody to show the character strength of bravery and ask the first question today. Break today. All right, Amelia, I see you, Amelia. You want to unmute and then go ahead and ask?
Hi, I was just wondering, is the varicella shot New York State required, the second one? Because when we were just looking at nutrition, okay.
Yes, it is. Yep.
Okay. All right, I'll get that done before school.
Yeah, that changed a couple of years ago. I think about 5 or 6 years ago. It wasn't, but now it is.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. Miss Burlingame, are you comfortable? You'll never have another transition meeting like this ever again. Nice and relaxed. She's just swinging there on her outside. All right. Okay, next up is our reading teachers. So one of the benefits of being a larger elementary school is that we have more students, so we have more support staff. You know, our special area staff is all here full time, and our reading teachers, we have 3 of them, which is kind of a privilege. Not kind of, it is a privilege, Miss Ladser, Miss Carpenter, Miss Herring. So if you guys want to introduce yourself, would you like me to put your slides up, Miss Carpenter?
I don't know, Mr. Woodcock. That's up to you. You had some trouble with my slides, so.
Well, I did not. I told Miss Carpenter, just full disclosure, I would not put it on the screen unless the Red Sox had changed, but I'm over it.
And
All
as
right, here we
you can see, I did not change the Red Sox hat. So, good afternoon. My name is Mrs. Carpenter. I'm one of 3 reading teachers. I recognize lots of names out there and faces with repeat families. This, the kindergarten transition, kindergarten screening, one of my very favorite things to do as part of my job, because we get to see these kids come in as brand new, excited, enthusiastic learners, and we get to see them grow for 7 years. So we're part of their lives for many years. I'm going to explain one of our roles, and then I'm going to pass it on to the other reading teachers to kind of go forward with that. One of the things we do is we assess students 3 times throughout the school year, and this is all students, kindergarten through 6th. This enables us to make sure that students are getting the reading instruction they need. We provide reading support for small groups of students at every grade level. We also provide reading support for classroom teachers, so we're in and out of classrooms all the time. We will get to know each and every one of your students, and we are there to provide support to you, to the students, and to the teachers as far as reading instruction. And I will let Mrs. Herring talk about the kindergarten screening that will be done.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Herring, and like Mrs. Carpenter said, the screening is one of our favorite times because we get to meet all of the kids and kind of follow them throughout the year. Today we had our senior walk, and it's, you know, funny to imagine those kids when coming in as kindergartners, and then today we got to see them, you know, drive through as seniors. So it's kind of crazy. So it's really fun for us to see them. And with some of the things that we do are letter names and sounds, ask them, you know, their uppercase and their lowercase and how many that they recognize. Rhyme recognition, we might show them a picture, and are there 2 out of the 3, can they pick those out, or can they produce some rhyming words? And it's not, they don't have to know all of those things and have them mastered by the time they come to kindergarten. Those are just some of the things that we ask in order to just get a picture of what they know and what the kindergarten teachers, they're going to work on all of that throughout the year. So, but those are just some things we do in order to see where they are when they come in. I'm going to turn over to Mrs. Ladstatter.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mrs. Ladstatter. This will be the end of my first year at Morgan Road before I was at LE. So what I wanted to talk to you about is what you can do to prepare your children for kindergarten. Mainly have a lot of fun with them over the summer, because this is your last year that you have with them before they begin formalized school. You can have fun with them by reading lots of books, which is the best way to prepare them for kindergarten. In fact, Dr. Seuss has some awesome rhyming books, and that's a really good skill for kids to have as they enter into this new world for them. And it's a fun way to do it. It's a fun bonding thing. You could sing, and you can play games, and you can just go into the supermarket and do the I Spy. I Spy something that begins with a book, and to have them find that in the aisle. All of those things are just really fun ways to prepare your kids for kindergarten. Ultimately, I wouldn't stress about it. Just enjoy that time you have with your children, and it will be wonderful. Kindergarten is one of the best years ever.
All right, thank you, reading team. And I just want to emphasize what Miss Herring was going over too, which is kindergarten screening, and that time we had scheduled in early June typically, and that's the information where we really get to know the kids. Our hope is that we might be able to reschedule to late August before the school year will start. So we're kind of crossing our fingers and hoping that's going to work out, that we could do that. in late August, some way, shape, or form. So more information on that in the near future in the coming weeks about what will happen on that end. But that information and getting to know the kids is really helpful to us and our team. So thank you, kindergarten team. Next up, I've got, we're not ready for questions yet. I got to fix my slide deck here. Next up, we've got Mrs. Williams, our school psychologist, and Mrs. Cusimano, our school counselor. And we have, I see Miss Madey's on here too. Miss Madey, we're very sad because Mrs. Madey is leaving us. She was our psychologist intern this year. She is phenomenal, and we are desperately going to miss her. But she's on here as well. So, Miss Williams, you want to go first?
Sure. Hello, everybody. My name is Krista Williams, and I'm the school psychologist in the building. And I do have the pleasure of being in the building every day. So I'm always available. So we're so excited to see everybody. And like everybody has said, this is one of our favorite time of years. And I wish I could see everybody's little face here. But I look forward to meeting you when you guys come in. So where's Miss Cusimano? There she is.
I'm right here. So Mrs. Williams, I know that we were going to talk about our roles because although you and I work very closely together, they are very different. So do you want to go right into your role and then we can talk about them too?
So like I said, I'm a school psychologist, and we also are going to have a school psychologist intern in the building next year. So we're going to have 2 psychologists and a counselor, and we are so lucky to have that type of mental health support because it's going to be a new and a different year, and kiddos haven't been in school for a while. So we are really ready to kind of meet them wherever they're at and provide whatever services we need to. And we're looking forward to having everybody back. But so Anna and I work closely together, but we do have some different roles. One of my roles is to help facilitate the child study team, which is an intervention team that meets to problem solve, look at how students are doing, figure out what they need behaviorally, figure out what they need intervention wise, and possibly move towards a special education assessment. So that's kind of a specialized thing that we do, and we do it once a week. And then I also work really closely with the special education team in regards to conducting evaluations and seeing families all the way from the beginning to the end of our evaluation process, if that's necessary. We have a wonderful RTI program and intervention programs and wonderful tiered counseling and behavioral support. So there is just a multitude of things that are available to your kiddos from the get-go. Let me see, what else do I do? So then we do evaluations. I help the special education team with all of our systems and our structures and our meetings. So if we do have a kiddo with special education, you probably might already know me because we've already started the process. And here to support all kiddos behaviorally in the classroom, in counseling support, group and individual. But most importantly, Anna and I work as a team, and we're all hands on deck those first 2 or 3 weeks of kindergarten, particularly this year coming up. And we will do whatever we need to do to get everybody through. So Anna, you want to chat a little bit about?
Yeah, you do. So basically my job is to help your kiddo get through the day. So I offer individual support, any kind of emotional, social, behavioral, academic concern. That's where I would come in and work with you and help to meet your child's needs and to support you and the child in any way possible. So I do a lot of one-on-one work with your child. I do a lot of small groups. So we have, just so that you're aware, we do in kindergarten a social skills group. We also do Changing Families group, which is the old banana splits for the divorced and separated families. We also do anxiety group as well. So we offer a lot of different programs to meet your students and their to meet your child's social emotional needs. I also help with referrals to outside agencies, and also I help with other things, food, clothing, school supplies, and lots of help during the holiday season as well, even holidays like Valentine's Day. So I am there every day to help support you and your child in any way possible. So I wanted to talk briefly about how your child can work with Krista and I. So in order to work with your child on a regular basis, I do need to have permission. So please know that. At the beginning of the school year, a form will go home to everyone. If you sign that and return it, that just is kind of a blank statement saying that you give your child permission to work with me in a group setting or individual at any time throughout the school year. So make sure that you get that, and that way it opens the doors, and then we can work freely with your child as needed. So parent referral, sometimes the teachers will ask us to work with a student during the day for any particular need. If it's something that we need to call home and make sure that you know about, we'll let you know. And then sometimes if the child wants to work with us for whatever reason, if they're having a hard time that day, they'll say, can I go talk to somebody? And once they get to know us, hopefully it's, can I talk to Mrs. Williams or Mrs. Cusimano? And then we go from there and of course follow up with you in any way. So, Krista and I wanted to talk just briefly about what you can do over the summer to get your child ready for kindergarten. It is such a big transition, especially now that they're not in preschool. So we wanted to talk to you a little bit about fostering independence, working on some of those self-help skills, because when they are here in kindergarten, the expectation is that they are pretty independent. And certainly we will support them along the way. The expectation is that they come to us knowing some skills already. And so some of those skills that we look for, toileting skills, knowing, how to flush the toilet, washing their hands afterwards, dressing themselves, working on the buckles, the buttons, zippers, just simple things like that, making sure that they are able to do some of those things on their own without a lot of grown-up help. Of course, we will always be there to help, especially the first couple of weeks of school, but having those skills, coming to school to Morgan Road with those skills would be very helpful. Simple things, how to use a tissue, washing your hands after you use the tissue, how to use spoons and forks at lunchtime, how to open up their little food packages at lunchtime, how to put the straw in the straw hole, just all of those little things that you don't think about that we just do for our kids already. So spending time this summer thinking, what are some things that I could take a step back and let my child do on their own? As frustrating as it is for us to watch them really struggle to put the straw in the hole, I think it's really helpful because then they come September and they know how to do it themselves. Responsibilities around the house, having them take out the toys that they want to play with and then put them back on their own without you prompting, or with you prompting the first couple of times and then making sure that they do it on their own afterwards, because that's going to be the expectation in kindergarten. Taking some responsibility. And, Krista and I have noticed that when we have kids that come in knowing how to do some of those self-help skills, they have pretty good self-esteem. They feel good about themselves. So, those things, fostering that independence and giving them some of the responsibility helps to increase their self-esteem. So Krista, do you want to talk a little bit about, the importance of routine and structure and those first 2 weeks, how tired they're going to be?
Yeah, absolutely. Kindergarten is so exciting, and it's a new and different time, and we're launching into the world in a way that we haven't ever done before. So it's a wonderful time, but it can also be stressful. So it's really important, particularly because kiddos haven't had maybe a really set schedule for the last almost 5 months by the time they come to us, is to a couple weeks before school starts to make sure that we are practicing going to bed on time and getting up at that, the time that they would normally for school, so that their bodies can adjust. They're going to be a little bit stressed the first couple of weeks, even if it's good stress or bad, or they're feeling a little bit of anxiety. So keeping the stress level in your house kind of down, keeping to your evening routine, maybe not doing any, big different things. Just kind of keeping the home life quiet those first couple of weeks is always helpful. Practicing the morning routine is super important. About maybe 3 or 4 days before school starts, maybe do a practice run, getting up in the morning and maybe picking out your clothes the night before, getting dressed, maybe walking out to the bus stop where that's going to be, kind of really just doing like a rehearsal, sort of kind of like a dry run, and see if anything pops up that you couldn't predict was going to happen. And then lots of love and lots of understanding. There could be You know, some emotions run a little bit high those first couple of weeks, good emotions and scared emotions. And please feel free to call us and let us know if we can help you in any way. No question is silly or anything we haven't heard. We have heard everything. And so what we welcome, you know, just a phone call to say we had a really rough morning. Please check in on my kiddo. We can do that for sure. The first 2 weeks, we both want you to feel really comfortable in knowing that we are here for you for whatever big or little reasons. And we'll all just get them through together. And little by little, they get more confident and they walk a little bit more assured. And before you know it, they are in a routine and feel much more comfortable and ready to learn. But those first 2 weeks are really about getting the routine and the schedule down. So start that early.
Yes. So we are there for you the first couple of weeks and all year. But certainly when we have little crying kindergartners the first couple of weeks of school, please know, hopefully we can give them lots of hugs and TLC. So please know that we will take care of them like they are ours once they come into the Morgan Road doors. So thank you for your time.
We're going to teach every kindergartner how to socially distant.
Yeah.
Socially distant, 6 feet apart. We're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
We can do it. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. That we're almost done. I've got Mrs. Hamilton from our PTO, and then we'll open it up for questions. Miss Hamilton, you're going to be proud of me. I got you a little slide here. Let's see. I think this means you officially signed up for next year.
Well, I said today was my last, and Mrs. Young gave me a look that I thought maybe I better take my decision back and change it around, and so I'll stick around for another year.
Oh my goodness, that's breaking news today, everybody. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I just totally exhaled in relief. But Mrs. Hamilton is our amazing PTO president. She's done it for a few years, many years, and even when she was in Pennsylvania for a year, she was running our PTO through Mr. Burgess. She's fantastic, and we've got Miss McCormick on here. She's on our PTO. She's one of our treasurers. So we've got an amazing PTO. We have a lot of fun in our meetings. We don't spend a whole lot of time at our meetings because we figure if we make them boring, nobody wants to come. So, but we're really hoping that you guys will join us at some PTO meetings this year to plan some events, because it's always great when we have some input from all of you. So, Miss Hamilton, you've got the floor.
Good afternoon. I have been in this building for a very long time, longer than Mr. Woodcock. So I've been here and I've done this a few times over. So I have 4 kids, all of which have gone through Morgan Road. So I know the staff really well, and we work really close with our staff and our parents. We're hoping to have a regular year when we go back in, but whatever they throw at us, we're going to run with it, and we're going to work to continue to do what we've always done, which is help the kids and provide them with everything that they need from us. As parents, we love the help. We love people to let us know they need the help or want to help us. I know I've had some of the kindergarten teachers in years past say they've got parents that want to help, and so we'll contact you with things that we've got going on and where we need the help. Going into the year, we're hoping to only do one fundraiser that we do, which is a major one. We do our walkathon. Okay, hang it up. Just hang it up. Hang it up. Hang up the phone. Sorry, that's one of mine. We do one fundraiser. It's a walkathon in October, and we will do that again as long as they allow us to. It's the one and only major fundraiser we do. Anything else we do in the building is just for fun. We have a great sweetheart dinner we do in February, but that's completely just for the enjoyment of our staff and students and families. It's not for us to raise any money for. It's just for us to have a good time. We meet the second Tuesday of every month, except for December and June in the library. Again, like Mr. Woodcock said, we like to keep it quick. We're usually in and out within about a half an hour because we want to just be there for the little stuff and then be moving on. We don't want to spend a lot of time on little things. We Usually have it all planned out so we're in and out within a good amount of time so everyone can get back home to their families. Again, our entire board has been in this building for quite a while. We all have kids in the building. Some of us are on our last year in the building. Others of us still have a couple more years to go. So if you have questions that you are afraid to ask someone else, you are more than welcome to contact any of us. Again, like Mrs. Williams and Mrs. Cusimano said, no question is too crazy. We're here to help you as a parent. We've been here and done it. Even if it's, why can't I bring a birthday treat in? We will give you the reasonings why we can't do such things, so you don't have to call and ask and think it's a crazy question. I'm always around. I'm in the building. Your kids will see me at lunchtime too, because I'm there to help at lunchtime. But anything you guys need, hopefully we'll start back in September and things will be back to normal.
Miss Hamilton, you had to bring up the birthday tree.
Well, that's always our biggest question that we get.
The way we like to say is we celebrate birthdays in a different way, Miss Hamilton.
I know.
Protect students with food allergies. All right, you're the best. I'm not going to get over that news. I think I'm going to have to. It kind of coincides with my next thing, which is communication. That might be big news on Twitter later today. Is that Miss Hamilton's back for another year on the PTO? But one of the things I think is absolutely crucial. Obviously, communication is huge, and making sure you're aware of things that are happening. It's really goes through my mind. Everything I do, I'm trying to find people and make sure they hear the news. And the things that I think about when things come up is I like to put things on Twitter. I like to put things on Facebook, on our Morgan Roads elementary page. And then I also use School Messenger sparingly because I use that for more important information, like, affecting the schedule for students. So I highly recommend that if you're not on Twitter, just hang in there with me, create an account, and just follow your child's teacher and myself. And you can find out a lot of information. You kind of get a lens into our school and into our classrooms. You get to see what it looks like at school. And it's been a really great thing that all of our schools in Liverpool use quite a bit. So it's something I think if you're not used to it, you'd grow more comfortable and you'd start to enjoy, because you get a lot of information on Twitter from our school district and from our school. And all of our teachers in kindergarten have their own page. So I suggest you get on there and you look for those people and follow them. On Morgan Road, as I said, we have a Morgan Road Elementary page, and we also have a Morgan Road Elementary PTO page. And a lot of the information that I put out there will be on those pages. The website, I'll tell you, is a little more stale information. We don't update that as frequently. It doesn't really, it's more of a calendar of events that we try to keep up with. Mr. Franchi is our webmaster. And so you won't see day-to-day stuff on there as much, but more long-term and a little bit more information about the school and the teachers and contact information, that kind of stuff. All righty. I've got one more thing I want to share, and I'm just going to read it to you because my slide wasn't working here. Next steps. So this being a unique year, typically our next time we would get together, and the unfortunate part of this transition program is we didn't have an opportunity for the kids to come in and get to see the teachers, get to spend some time in the classroom, and for us to work with them, because that would have been part of our normal transition program. We would have also had screening done. Like I said, our hope is in August we'll be able to bring your kids in a safe way and do the case screening that we usually do. So more information will be coming out about that. I will email you guys, all of you, directly, and share that information. I'll probably put it on Twitter and Facebook too, so you're not missing it. The other thing after that is the day before the first day of school. Traditionally, we always have a kindergarten orientation, which is a great opportunity for you to ask questions about the school bus. Like, where do they get on the bus? What does it look like when they get off the bus at school? What's the first day of school going to look like? Mrs. Burlingame goes down the whole schedule, and we share a lot of that last minute information. So it is obviously our hope that that'll happen again this year. The first day of school is scheduled to be September 10th, fingers crossed. So on September 9th, that Wednesday, I believe, we'll be here at 11 o'clock with our kindergarten orientation program. All that information, all that stuff is kind of TBD right now while we're living through this pandemic, but that's our hope that that's what will happen. And obviously in July and in August, I promise I will send updates about all this stuff, and I'm sure you'll hear from the district as well. All right. I just threw a lot of information. We just had a whole lot of people talk to you. I want you to kind of take it all in and let us know if you have any questions. If you have a question and you want to raise your hand, if you want to put it on the chat box, we are ready for them. And there's no such thing as a bad question.
One thing I wanted to say, Mr. Woodcock, about Twitter is if you want to see what is happening at Morgan Road, our hashtag is #TeamMRE. And that's an easy way to find people who are posting about things going on at school.
Awesome. If you're not familiar with hashtags, you got to put the whole thing together, no spaces in there. There's a little bit of a learning curve with Twitter, but it's not too hard once you get going. All right. If you have a question, you'd like to ask a question to anybody, you can just raise your hand. Nobody has a question. No questions. All right. Well, I'm sure we're all going to have lots of. Yep.
Somebody would like, Adeline would like to know if they can see any photos of the kindergarten classrooms.
Yes. Adeline, where is Adeline? Adeline, how are you? It's so funny you say that because I was going through my photos the other day trying to find some, but I think we could do that. Miss Burlingame and Miss Conklin and Miss Harrington, do you have any pictures of just the room that you could put on Twitter later today, maybe? If you go on Miss Harrington's page, Adeline, or Mrs. Conklin's page, or Miss Harrington, you're going to see what the rooms look like.
Somebody wants to know, who would they talk to about, Mrs. Martin would like to know, who would they talk to about the ICT kindergarten classroom? So their other son went through regular general ed K with Mrs. Burlingame, so
Yep.
she doesn't know about the ICT day-to-day stuff.
Ashley, how are you? You can Ashley, you can email Mrs. Williams, or you can email Mrs. Harrington, or you can email both of them, and then they'll get back to you, and we can answer your questions about that. And Mr. Albacelli, don't forget Mr. Albacelli.
Yes.
All right. Okay, I'll give it a thumbs up, Ash. All right, good. All right. Any other questions? Yeah, what I'll say is all of our emails are on the website. The teachers in kindergarten are the same as last year, so the website's up to date as far as kindergarten's concerned for next school year. If you have any questions, feel free to email us. We check it periodically, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. My goal in this whole process is to put you at ease and know that we are going to absolutely love your kids when they're here, and we're going to take care of them, and we're going to treat them well, and they're going to grow like crazy, and then you're going to be doing a senior walk just like the rest of the kids today, and we're going to be like, oh my gosh, how did that happen so fast? But it was great meeting everybody. If you have any questions, like I said, don't be afraid to reach out. If I could do one last thing, I'm a big celebratory type guy. If you want to stay on and get a picture with us, all right, if you want to turn your screen on, we're going to do a wave. If not, you can just quit out and have a great day. If you'd like to stay and take a photo, give me 1 second here. I'm going to turn on this screen mode and see if I can get that to work. Let me see here. Include more. All right. Okay. So if I could get everybody to wave at the screen. All right. Everybody wave. All right. Perfect. It was great meeting all of you. If you have anything you need, just let us know. Teachers, staff, you guys are awesome. It's great to see you. I miss you guys, and hang in there, everybody. We're going to get through this together. Have a great day.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.